Hey guys, today we are back with episode number 23 of Truck History. On this episode, we will be digging a little deeper into Dutch truck history with a history of DAF Trucks. But before we get started, this video was made possible by our online Chrome shop, jackschromeshop.com. Be sure to stop by the site and sweep through our selection of sales, including 10% off bumpers, visors, exhaust, steering wheels, and so much more. And remember, folks, if your rig don't shine, you don't know Jack. Despite debuting originally as a car company as early as 1928, DAF Trucks didn't launch their first lorry until much later on in 1949. Technically, two trucks, the 3-ton A30 truck and the 5-ton A50 truck, were introduced initially, with both big rigs built as the basis for their forward control cab-over trucks, characterized by a gorgeous grille, complete with 7 chrome strips. In addition to trucks, trailers and buses were also being built by the newly named Van Dorn's Automobile Fabriek Company. Throughout the 1950s, DAF was a major manufacturer of soft-skin Dutch military models, debuting makes such as the YA-126 in 1952 and the YA-328 1 year later in 1953. Coming back to the company's civilian cab-over engine models, the new 1100/1300 and 1500 series launched later in 1955. Serving as somewhat of a second generation of their A30 and A50 trucks, these brand new big rigs came with only 6 shiny chromium strips on the grille instead of 7. Most DAFs from the earlier days had Hercules or Perkins petrol and diesel engines. That was until 1957, when DAF debuted their first diesel engine alongside their all-new 2000 series of heavy-duty semis. The success of DAF's new series saw a sudden increase in demand, thus causing the company to come out with the complementary bonneted cabs called the 12 and 15 series later that same year. The following year in 1958, DAF added an additional factory to produce their very own rear axles, and in 1959, they introduced their first turbo truck engine, the DD575. These new developments helped in the design of a well-deserved facelift to the 1100, 1300, and 1500 models that same year. 1959 also introduced another couple of newbies, this time 2 trucks, one called the 1600 series, which subsequently superseded the 1500 series, and the other called the 1800 series, which debuted with the DD575 turbocharged DAF diesel engine. Skipping ahead to 1961, an all-new AS2000DO debuted with the addition of a trailing axle for heavy haulage. Speaking of haulage, DAF surprises everyone with the sudden introduction of their innovative 2600 series in 1962. Also called the mother of international road haulage, due to their newly developed standard for driver comfort, as they came available with sleeper cabs. The next year of 1963 saw another surprise, as DAF debuted their first 6x4 tandem truck chassis, called the AT1900. In 1965, the tipper truck 6x6 chassis came out, also called the AZ1900. Later that same year, the bonneted 18 series chassis cabs were launched, followed by another all-new introduction with the 2400 DP series. 5 years and the dawn of a new decade passed before another DAF freight hauler followed, and in 1970, the F1600 through F2000 series were introduced, featuring fancy new tilt cabs. 2 years later in 1972, the heavier-duty F2200 also appeared in the tilt cab line, in addition to 2 more lightweight models, known as the 1200DA and the 1400 DDs. 1973 followed up with a new flagship and the successor to the celebrated 2600 series, known as the 2800 series. which featured a cab more than 20 centimeters wider, 2 full-sized bunks, and a powerfully charged, air-cooled DAF engine. 2 years later in 1975, DAF took the 2800 series trucks a step further, with the fancier Supercontinental version of the Semi. DAF also took a turn to the lighter side of things that same year, with the launch of their 2 new lightweight trucks, the F700 and the F900. In 1976, the F2300 was introduced, featuring an all-new front fascia that looked like a slightly smaller version of the 2800 series. In 1977, DAF designed the 500DE as well as the subsequent 1100DD series trucks, and the next year in 1978, the company celebrated their 50th anniversary. The celebration continued that same year with another edition of 8x4 adaptations of the 2800 series. As the 1970s decade diminished, DAF ceased trailer production completely to concentrate solely on the design and development of medium to heavy-duty trucks. As the all-new decade of the 1980s rolled around, DAF debuted their featured FAG 2300 models, which came with a 6x2 chassis and a leading rear axle. 1980 also saw another introduction of the innovative new N2800 series, built with a bonneted cab on a 6x4 chassis. In 1982, DAF goes the distance as they introduced the heavy-duty, long-haul transport truck called the 3300 DKX series. 1982 also introduced the 2100/2300 series trucks, as well as the 2500 DHS model, which debuted with a second-generation 8.25-liter diesel engine. Skipping ahead to 1985, DAF saw the debut of the all-new Ati Truck, short for Advanced Turbo Intercooling, which was introduced as a second generation of diesel engine trucks. These ATIs came equipped with even better engine performance, lower fuel consumption, cleaner exhaust, and of course, the stunning new high-roof space cab created to improve driver comfort. 1985 also brought in the brand new lightweight distribution line, including the DAF 600, 800, and 1000 series models. Another new DAF debuted 2 years later in 1987, as the company came out with their coveted 95 series. Also available with the now extremely popular space cab configuration, the 95s were produced as DAF's modern premium model and quickly gained soaring success due to their quiet, comfortable cabs. Introduced alongside the innovative 95 series trucks were the WS/ATI engines, which also helped the rig's renowned reputation and earned the truck the title of the International Truck of the Year in 1988. Moving along into the 90s, the 2700 ATI truck was announced as the successor to the 2500 series. Also in 1990, DAF debuted an all-new Euromaster model edition to their 95 series line. DAF wasn't done with their 95 series trucks, and 2 years later in 1992, we saw a second generation of the 95s being built, launched largely for long-distance hauling. These new 95s were soon followed by the subsequent 75 and 85 series, another set of high-tech second-gen semis intended for medium to heavy haulage. Despite the debut of a variety of new DAF vehicles, the commercial truck market quickly started to collapse, thus leaving DAF to declare bankruptcy the next year in 1993. Luckily, within only a few weeks, the company was bought and brought back to life under a new name called DAF Trucks NV. Even after their little hiccup the year prior, the company came back strong in 1994 with a new version of the 95 vehicles, this time taking on an even more colossal-sized cab called the Super Space Cab. However, 2 years later in 1996, a company called PACCAR purchased DAF, placing DAF on an even playing field with many other major manufacturers such as Peterbilt and Kenworth. Shortly after this acquisition, DAF debuted an all-new 95 XF series of semi-tractors in 1997. Produced for professional long hauling, these cabovers came from a collection of spacious cab choices, complete with all kinds of driver comforts, and of course, the freshly developed XF diesel engine. Following the success of the 95 XF series, DAF would also introduce redesigned medium to heavy-duty cabovers called the CF series in 1998, which included the 65 CF, 75 CF, and 85 CF. However, only 2 years later in September of 2000, a brand new CF series of big rigs were brought to the market. This time, with bigger weight carrying capabilities, increased comfortability, and improved efficiency. A little later on in 2001, the LF series launched, designed specifically for distribution purposes. Available in a wide array of wheelbases, carrying capacities, cab configurations, and engines, the LF series saw skyrocketing success and was named the International Truck of the Year in 2002. 2005 saw DAF take the truck market by storm, as they set a new standard in the industry with the introduction of the XF105. This XF105 truck not only featured the first new PACCAR MX engine debuted in a DAF model, but also launched with the largest cab on the market. Moving on into the mid to late part of the 2000s, DAF made some major differences in their company as they built a brand new test center in 2008, and also became the first truck manufacturer ever to offer EEV, or enhanced environmentally friendly vehicles, with compliant diesel engines for its entire production program. DAF continued their commitment to environmental awareness in 2010, as they became one of the first European truck manufacturers to begin making a hybrid model, with the LF Hybrid. The next year in 2011, the ATE program is produced as a complete truck package featuring innovative advancements to further reduce fuel consumption, emissions, and efficiency. These advanced ATE trucks were followed up by the fancy new flagship Euro 6 XF model in 2012, designed to deliver maximum efficiency, industry-leading low operating costs, a completely new chassis, and a much more modern, aerodynamically advanced exterior. This flagship Euro 6 XF was followed by 2 more Euro 6 models, including the versatile LF and CF versions of the vehicle, unveiled in 2013. Speaking of the LF model, DAF made another variant of the vehicle in 2014 as they announced the all-new LF Aero Body. By 2015, DAF saw so-called silent semi-truck models make their way onto the market, with the evolution of the extra quiet LF, CF, and XF models. 2 years later in 2017, DAF debuts a totally new generation of trucks, with yet another update to their legendary line of LF, CF, and XF models. These advanced DAFs adopted all new drivelines, engine innovations, and aerodynamically influenced exterior improvements, which saw soaring success and ultimately led to the launch of even more innovative introductions later in the line. By 2018, DAF Trucks released their most recent range of fully electric and hybrid rigs. From the launch of their latest evolutionary electric lorry, to the early days of developing their first forward control cabovers, the DAF company has continued to carry a renowned reputation for reliable rigs. After opening their all-new DAF Research and Development Center in the Netherlands in 2019, allowing the company to accelerate software design and evolve operating efficiency, we can certainly suspect that perhaps another addition to the amazing DAF line will debut any day now. That brings you up to date with the history of DAF Trucks. Before you leave, make sure you like the video, check out the other videos on our channel, and subscribe. We have finally reached our goal of 25K subscribers, so thank you all so much for your support for the show. Next stop, 50K. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything else you'd like to talk to us about, please be sure to tune into our live podcast, The Chrome Corner, Wednesdays at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Standard Time, and discuss all things Chrome with our host, Dave Coleman. If you'd like to stay up to date with the new projects we have coming, please follow us at Jack's Chrome Show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Be sure to buy your big rig the best chrome for your home with some sweet stainless sales on our website at jackschromeshop.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. And remember, guys, if your rig don't shine, you don't know Jack.